Alright, since sometimes it is easier to explain and show over video than over pictures, I thought I would kind of show some of my difficulties with the Tactacam crossbow mount. This one right here that you see. They're under rail or underscope rail crossbow mount. That they include with the crossbow kit, or the firearm kit maybe. So you see, most crossbow scopes nowadays, they're 30 millimeter tube, and they're usually pretty short and compact, so you don't have a lot of space between the rings and on the rail. And also most crossbow scopes, this is an Excalibur Tact 100, but a lot of scopes on the market these days are like this. The other thing is most of them are lighted. So see there's a knob on the other side too. You don't just have the two adjustment turrets for windage and elevation, but you have that knob on the other side. So the problem I have is if you mount the scope rail on this side, this part right here, the part of the half clamp for the Tactacam, that ends up hitting the cap, and I can't mount it anywhere else. I can't mount the scope underneath here. It doesn't fit. It only fits in this spot right here, but this makes contact with the cap. So my solution, if I want to use it on this side, is I can take the cap off, and then it barely clears the adjustment underneath, but it does work. But then I have to hunt with the cap out of place, removed. Other thing is if I could mount it on this side, where the adjustment knob is for the lighter reticle, and it fits on there, but then I lose access. I really struggle to turn this knob when this scope mount is up against it. So that's a challenge. So my solution that I've found, that I just got set up with, and I haven't found any drawbacks to it so far, is Hawk. They sell these Picatinny ring caps. They're not in the package currently, that's the regular scope cap. But Picatinny ring caps for 30 millimeter, the number is 22151. So the solution that I found, here's what one looks like. It's just a scope cap, but it has Picatinny rail on top of it. So, and each pack comes with two, so you can outfit two scopes this way. So I'll just set this one aside. I have one on this other crossbow. You see I replaced that rear cap with the Picatinny rail on top of it. And then I use the Tactacam Picatinny rail mount, which is basically mounts the same way as the regular crossbow mount, except it's wider, it's a lot more rigid, and it tucks it in closer. It doesn't have to stick out so far because you don't need the clearance for the scope. So now you can see I still get to keep the Tactacam nice and back far. There are other ways to mount it, not using the crossbow mount and going more forward on the crossbow, but I like to have it back as far as possible for balance, and then it also helps you capture this perspective of aiming the crossbow. So this is the best solution that I've found, and it gets rid of all the drawbacks of Tactacam's crossbow mount. Real heavy duty, it's mounted solid, it's easy to take on and off. It was a little tricky to get that other crossbow mount on and off frequently. So yeah, pretty satisfied with this. So yeah, all you need, if you use the Hawk rings, 30 millimeter or 1 inch, you can buy the caps as an accessory that can mount it, and then have a pretty solid setup that you have easy access to the lighted reticle knob. You don't need to go in the tight space underneath. You don't block your windage cap or your windage cap or have to remove it. So this is going to be my go-to setup from now on, and I'll get this other crossbow set up with the other cap as well.